What is a civilization? That is our learning target for today, is what is a civilization? And this is a very, very important lesson. And out of all the lessons this week, I need you to learn this one, because this one is going to carry over to all the lessons from now all the way until June. And yes, you are in world history until June. Let's start off with some academic vocabulary. As you know, academic vocabulary is very important to understand in order to gain a full understanding of the content that you'll be learning during this unit and again throughout the whole class. Archaeology. Okay, archaeology is the study of the past through digging up artifacts and bones from our forefathers. If you've ever seen the movies Indiana Jones, that is an archaeologist. Now, an anthropologist is somebody that observes civilizations and takes note of their interactions between each other, what they eat, their religious practices. Literally, they are just there to observe. They're not there to interact whatsoever. And then they're to write their observations down and report back to whomever has hired them. Periodization is something that I thank historians for, because when I was in school, and probably when your parents were in school, we had to learn dates. And instead of learning dates, we are learning the names of chunks of time throughout history. For example, Renaissance, the Ice Age, the Cold War, etc. It is so much easier to learn the periodization of time versus learning dates. Now, spatial frames are those interactions between humans and their environment. How do they use their environment in everyday life? Do they use it for farming? Do they use the ports for trade? Okay, what is their spatial frames? Afro-Eurasia. Now, let's go back to last week's lessons on the supercontinent. A portion of that supercontinent was called Afro-Eurasia, which is a mixing of Africa, Europe, and Asia. Interregion are those regions that are dependent upon each other for survival. There's something that each one of those regions have that another region needs to survive. If they didn't have that, they would not be surviving in the global economy to today. World history. This is a big one. This is the global perspective of the past. Now, in this class, I will reference U.S. history occasionally, so you have an idea of when something occurred or something that happened in U.S. history that was similar. But actually, we are not teaching U.S. history. You're learning about Africa, you're learning about South America, you're learning about Asia, Europe, Australia, Canada, basically everything but the United States. Now let's look at a civilization. What is it? Basically, it's a complex society that has to have 6 very important characteristics: geography, religion, achievements, politics, economics, and social structure. If a group of people does not have all of these characteristics, they are not considered a civilization. How did civilizations develop? Very simply, over time, they went from hunter and gatherers, developed into pastoral nomads, and stayed in one spot and began to farm. Here is the evolution of hunter and gatherers to civilizations. First, we started off with farming. We had the pastoral nomads and the domesticated animals at this time. Domesticated animals meaning those animals that are herded: sheep, cattle, goats. Okay, those type of animals, not cats and dogs. Okay. That system led to farming. Now, farming led to an increase in population. That is because there was more food, and more food leads to healthier people. Healthier people leads to more increased population. Not everyone could be farmers, though. As the population was getting larger, there's just way too many people wanting to be farmers. So there had to be some type of division of labor into place. And this is when people began to become teachers, lawyers, performers, okay, artisans. They literally chose a different way of living. This led to a surplus of food. How do you remember the characteristics of a civilization? This is the easiest way for you to remember those 6 characteristics. Grapes. 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 So whenever you hear me refer to grapes, I'm talking about the 6 characteristics of a civilization. Now, we'll also be using this acronym to also research events in history, places in history, and people in history. So let's look at this a little bit deeper. Geography. Geography is not just the location of where people live, it's also how the climate and landscapes affects their lifestyle. So when you're researching a group of people, you are not only looking at, oh, they're located in China, you're also going to be looking at, okay, how did that geography affect those people? Okay, did they use it for protection? Did they use it for their resources? Okay, did it help them with trade? Okay, what did their geography do to assist them in sustaining a society? Now, religion can be tricky, okay, because a religion is a belief system. It doesn't necessarily have to be an organized religion. And so what you're going to be doing is you're going to be looking into different groups of people, and you're going to be like looking up their belief system. What do they believe in? Who is in charge? How do they celebrate that belief system? Does that belief system affect their laws, their governments? Okay, religion. Achievements. Achievements are those lasting works of society. What did they do? What did they invent? It doesn't have to be necessarily something that they hold. It could be an idea. For example, the classical civilizations came up with that whole idea of democracy. Well, we're using democracy today, but you can't hold democracy in your hand. So that is an achievement. Politics. Who runs the society? How do they run it? What kind of government do they have? Who's in charge? How did they get that? Did they get it by vote? Did they get it by force? Did they get it by inheritance? What kind of laws do they have? What do they do if you break the laws? Okay. Politics is a very intense one to research. Economics. How does a society use its resources? Okay. What is the most available resource that they have? How do they use it? How do they spread it out amongst their society? How do they trade? Do they wait for people to come to them? Are they isolated? Okay. Is there something that they use to exchange for things? Is there some type of monetary exchange, or is it a barter system? Okay. What kind of economics does that society have? Social structure. This is the different levels of classes in a society. Okay. Who is considered the most important? How do they get there? Okay. Is it by wealth? Is it by your job title? Okay. What are each of the steps called? How can you go up and down? Or do you have to wait and you're stuck there your whole life? Okay, social structure. Now, I want you to think really hard. Is Clio High School a civilization? I want you to pause the video for a second. I want you to do some critical thinking. I want you to think really hard. Does Clio High School have all the characteristics to be called a civilization? Okay, welcome back. Let's dig in and see whether you think Clio High School is a civilization or not. Does it have geography? Yes, it does. Geography is, remember, more than just the location. Even though we do have an address, 1 Mustang Drive, we do use our resources. We have students as a resource, and then we have the campus itself. We have entrances and exits. We have athletic facilities. We have a woods. We have parking lots. We have a building with classrooms and bathrooms and offices, etc. Yes, we do have geography here at Clio High School. Does it have religion? Now remember, religion is a basic belief system and it doesn't have to be an organized one. Yes, we do. We have Clio Pride, we have school spirit. Okay, that is a religion. Okay, we have a basic belief system. Now, does everyone have to believe in that basic belief system? No. Okay, no. It's just our way of being able to rally everybody up and get everybody excited about being a Mustang. Does it have achievements? Yes. Boy, do we have achievements. Beyond the academic and athletic awards that we earn here at Clio High School, students graduate, and that's a huge achievement. Does it have politics? Yes, it does. We have a school and classroom rules. We have a school board. We have a superintendent, assistant superintendents. We have principals. We have also student council, link crew, band, NHS. Okay, we have a lot of politics in our building. Does it have an economic system? Yes, we do. We have to use money to keep this building rocking and rolling on a daily basis. It takes tax dollars in order for us to keep the lights on and pay the teachers to do their job. We also have fundraising by all the different groups of people at our building. And just an FYI, yes, that's Mr. Thomas kissing a pig. He lost a bet with me, and you know what happens if you lose a bet with me? You pay big time. And he did. He ended up kissing that pig. Does it have a social structure? Yeah, we do. And sometimes it's not a positive one, but yes, it is here. Our somewhat kind of negative one is the stereotypes and the cliques in the building. And we also have the social structure of power. Okay, the students are at the bottom of that triangle, and as you move up, you get to the principals. Okay, that's a social structure. So please remember, grapes. Every time you hear grapes in world history, we're talking about very specific categories of a civilization, an event, or a person's life. You'll be using this from now all the way up until June. Remember, I love you.